A telephone farmer, I would say, is a farmer who remotely manages their farming operations.
A telephone farmer is an investor in farming.
I'm a typical telephone farmer, I come here every other week, so I deal with my staff through the phone,
Telephone farmer, I would say, is more of an absentee farmer who uses the phone as a link to the farm.
At Latia, we started working with telephone farmers way back in 2009. We could see the potential they have. We could also see the challenges that they were facing. And through discussions with various people, the project was born in 2015, and it's been running since 2015.
When I bought the farm, I was pure telephone farmer, which means I sat in my office in Nairobi because I was employed, I had a job, and I had workers here in the field, and they'd call me and tell me I need chemical, I need, we need to think about harvest, we need to think about markets, can we do, so literally you're operating blind, you don't know what's going on the farm. And then I would come maybe every other weekend.
I used to be a very good telephone farmer because at that time I was working, I was staying in Nairobi, and I had the farm. The farm I acquired around 2013, but nothing was going on from 2013 to 2015. I would just visit. I used to have some guys staying at the farm, but we would just be doing potatoes and carrots.
This project has one main investor, who is the Dutch government, represented by the embassy of the Kingdom of Netherlands in Nairobi. And they provided the funding to a consortium of companies who are responsible for implementing this project. This consortium is made up of Maastricht School of Management, who is a project leader. There is also IRIS Group, which is a technical training institute from Netherlands. There is the Strathmore Business School here in Kenya. And there is an organization called the Netherlands African Business Council. And then Latia. And Latia was the project manager for this project locally.
I met Latia through Strathmore School. Strathmore Business School. I went for a course, an agribusiness course there. Because when I decided I want to do farming, I wanted to do it as a business. I didn't want to just do it as a hobby. So they had an agribusiness program, which I attended, and that's exactly where I met Latia. Peter is the one who gave us a lecture on I think it was horticulture. I don't remember what, but I met Latia at that point in time and engaged them.
When I met Latia, the first thing that they told me was we needed a business plan because you cannot do any farming. Actually, they helped me now to understand that I have to do this like a business. Latia really helped us even now to know where once you've done all that, where are you going to take your produce? So they assisted us also in getting markets.
The challenge with farming for me, being a professional, was there was no repository of information or knowledge. Literally everything was trial and error. And I was saying, where in the world does one work on trial and error? There must be information somewhere. Who knows what I need to do? How do I know what disease the tree has, So anyway, when Latia came in, it was for me the first time I met an organization, a professional organization that was looking into agriculture. And when they brought us together, they were saying, why don't we sit down and look at it as a business? Let's begin from the business case. What are you looking to do?
I've tried so many things before I started this farm. I did some fish farming. I have a mango farm, like an orchard, a small one, not big. We've done even dairy goats. All those we are doing trial and error. But finally, when I went to Strathmore Business School for the investing in agribusiness, where I met Latia. Then I got to the link to think as the farming as a business.
The main goal of this project was first of all to study and characterize the telephone farmer. So describe the characteristic of a telephone farmer and study them. What motivates them? How do they do business? What are the challenges they are facing? What opportunities do they have? After you studied this, then we were to develop a model, a business model that would provide business support services to these telephone farmers to unlock their potential. So what the project has achieved today is that we've been able in the last 3 years to characterize the telephone farmer. We've been able to, through interviews, through observations, through even formal research, we have a detailed presentation, a detailed report on the characteristic of the telephone farmer.
I do trainings on nursery management practices, horticulture, and also on urban farming, whereby we're focusing on how we should maximize production per unit area. The topics covered during the training depends on the farmer's agri-enterprise. For example, if the farmer is dealing with crop production, we teach on nursery management practices, that is from the sowing of the seeds until they're ready for transplanting, crop establishment, crop protection, harvesting, post-harvest management practices, including marketing.
The critical part of the training was focusing on record keeping, monitoring costs, improving production across all the modules, if we could summarize them in totality, because we went through nursery, we went labor management and all that. But in a nutshell is record keeping to be able to track the costs and also the production levels. One of the major areas of improvement was labor management. Before I could be running with 5, 6 workers, but now I've come down to 2 who are able to do most of the work.
The investor, the Dutch government, saw an opportunity for these farms. They are medium-sized farms. They are owned by people who can afford to invest, are willing to invest. They saw the opportunity of using these farms to kickstart a revolution in agriculture. So we had 17 initial telephone farmers that were identified for piloting and for testing and for support by the project. And the services provided to them was fully sponsored by the project. And then these were selected using a criteria that was developed by the consortium partners in consultation with the investor. And so from the 17 farmers, as we talk today, now we are looking at more than 100 farmers who are now working with the project, receiving the business support services that were designed by the project, but paying for it.
So what I've done is that I've trained my staff to account for every little thing that we do, you know, because we plant our own silage. So we have casuals, you know, which you can take for granted. You know, the people have about 50 people, you know, and just, they get paid. But now we need to write that down, you know, and how much did we pay them?
Latia was very, very available. On the phone, you know, they brought us on shows to look at different kinds of tractors, equipment. They helped us understand if you're going to invest in any equipment, make sure you can get maximum value from it.
One of the things that I can say has worked very well is introducing a business approach to the telephone farmers. Most of these telephone farmers would get into business without proper planning. Another area is that we think we have made a contribution is in connecting, linking the farmers to markets for both their produce, as well as markets for inputs and technology.
It is almost impossible to get good skills willing to come out here. And it is one I haven't solved. I'm still looking for somebody who understands, you know, an agronomist who understands orchards and mangoes specifically.
I believe that what Latia is doing as an incubator is badly needed in this country, in this region. I actually hope that there will be more incubators in Kenya as well as in the region.